It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Raiders and the Hawks, and it's coming right up on Madden NFL 23.
We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the District of Seattle. We've got what should prove to be a good one between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon. And off we go from Seattle. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And a glance here at their shifty mobile signal caller.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100 plus the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
They'll start here with Jackson. Takes it to the 20 for 1-yard gain.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll drop to throw. They'll be caught by Rice. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down. Back to throw here. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. He's got room at the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Boy, just zero hesitation from the rookie passer there, partner. He is coming out firing in this opening quarter.
And all the talk leading into this game was that pass rush talking about challenging this guy, getting into his grill, getting into his space. And how about him? Might be his first year in the NFL, but I don't see any fear in him at all. How about that big-time throw right out of the gate?
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And that makes it 7-zip Vegas. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it ends with a Las Vegas touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And it'll be a touchback as Tyler Lockett says, I'm not going to return this one. Seattle's first go on offense forthcoming, and under center, of course, Russell Wilson.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a 1st down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen 1 touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Let's dominate this.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive, he comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
A really nice throw there to pick up the 1st down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. He'll drop to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Rice. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
Don't do us like that.
They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. you're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide, usually going to pick up a holding call.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Blitz forthcoming as he'll look to throw. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. Here's the Raiders punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their 2nd drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
They go play action with Wilson. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
He rifles one that's intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. And Charles, it's now a 2-touchdown lead in the opening quarter. Following that pick 6, they are off to a fast start in this one.
And absolutely ecstatic on the sideline after that play, aren't they? Not just because they've got the lead, but how about seeing one of their guys get a chance to take it in for 6? Already up a pair of touchdowns. They've got everything going their way early on.
Point after try forthcoming. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Lynch. And some room to maneuver. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw caught here by Metcalf. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 39-yard line. Play action. Now Wilson. It's complete to Williams. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
On 2nd down now, it's Warren, and a short gain down to about the 33. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. So on 4th down, Pete Carroll's going to call out his field goal unit. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So, 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. From the 6. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. They'll try and start this drive in the air. This will be caught by Brown. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Finding room at midfield. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a 1st down. And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
Yeah, and this defense has had its share of problems getting guys to the ground. And here's another example. They never should have allowed this play to gain as many yards as it did, but poor tackling early in the play led to big yardage after the fact.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Delivering another one here to Darren Waller. He's got it again. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
They go play action here on first down. Sliding out of the pocket. That's caught by Waller out left side. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
Boy, still in the first quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
Extra point forthcoming. And it's 21-3. 5 plays there on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense.
Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
A gain of 8 there on the play, and that'll bring up a second down in just a couple. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
But whenever you call and run the hitch route, a lot of times that ball's got to be in the air before the receiver even turns around. That's the result of throwing it so many times in practice, is really a timing route. Make sure that ball's out of your hands, and oftentimes the receiver turns around, and there's the ball. Nice completion there.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. Forced out to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
On 2nd down, it's Warren. They find some open field here. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. On 1st down, Wilson. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now Wilson. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
On 2nd down, Lynch. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, I didn't have to stretch for this one. This is 4th down territory. They've got to get it in with the deficit that they're facing.
Absolutely. It's not the 4th quarter, but still, I think you can't be thinking 3 here.
No, if you do that, you might as well go ahead and fold up on this one, but I don't think they're built like that.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception.
And the Seahawks get a bit closer.
Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting runs so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had to feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Point after, right down the middle. And it makes the score 21-10. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Fielded right around the 8. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense
They just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now, they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2, as they are looking at a 2nd and 5 situation. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. His throw incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and get the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Las Vegas sending out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 21. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson, quick hitter here, it's complete. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back, and tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense, because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the 1st half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Fielded just inside the 20. A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. They'll begin the drive with Jackson on the ground. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. And he's got some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him a 1st down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
run on first down with Jackson. He'll get this up to about the 44.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete.
Had an open man that time, and ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, Palmer?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They'll look to throw here. Caught by Allen. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Let's focus out.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. They'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. Looking sideline, incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
The Raiders on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said, 3rd and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
And out now come the Seahawks. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They start the drive with Lynch. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
But we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. So well done there, and these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do, and now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Well, they were backed up to start the drive, but how about that aggressiveness? Firing it downfield right away. Nice job there getting out towards what would have been their normal starting position.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Rice, and he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An out cut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
2nd and 5. Got a man. It's Brown. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete.
Quality coverage that time to slow down what's been the main source of offense against them thus far. Got to find a way to slow down that ball in the air.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll look to throw again. And that is incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Here's the Raiders punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10.
Let's go. Once again, we got to get it done as a group.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 22. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson dancing to his left. Catch is made by Metcalf. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Wilson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. They'll run wide side with Lynch. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. They'll get this out to Lynch, complete. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another 1st down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 46. Throwing is Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. This one into the hands of Largent. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for 28 yards.
They talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a 1st down.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Let's go, baby.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Again, Wilson. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. To throw is Wilson. That's complete to Largent. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run with Lynch. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. They'll try again. And good work there defensively as they're able to keep him out of the end zone.
They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. They'll run for it. Lynch. And not only will he not get in, he's going to lose yardage. They stuff him back at the 4. The run is turned away on 4th and goal from the 2. And the Raiders hang tough down near the goal line. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer 3rd, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Throw right side, going to be caught by Waller. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feed down complete. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that will bring up second down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt.
And I think the ball's out. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go, man. You know what we need, baby.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Again, he'll drop to throw. That'll be caught by Rice. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Second and 3. it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. They'll drop to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Defense. They made sure they were ready for the pass on that snap, made the proper adjustments, and helped force an incompletion.
Las Vegas sending out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
"35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on 1st down. Now Wilson. And a little floater there is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. From the gun, it's Wilson.
This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But 3rd down coming up.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know that there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
This time they stay on the ground. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room.
They run on 1st down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand-new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, a look at the next-gen stats for the Raiders in that first half. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they too were able to take advantage of a soft secondary as both of these two teams really threw the ball at will in that first half.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start calling back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. That's a jet sweep. Wilson with a little pop pass. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson. And they're going to get this up to midfield. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From midfield now, here's Wilson. Able to find his target here, Largent. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
First down, the run with Lynch. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Here's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 24-yard line. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Make plays, y'all. Make plays.
On first down, Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he floats one there, incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A give to Lynch from the shotgun. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now it's Wilson.
And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown.
It's a 6-yard touchdown pass.
And the Seahawks have got it back to within a score.
On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Wilson going to throw for it. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, it's complete.
Finding space at the 40.
They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
And as a former defender, I can tell you with certainty, those are the ones that have you losing sleep at night. I would not like to be in that film room on Tuesday going over that one. Just a pretty poor effort defensively, and it leads to a big play.
They'll run with Allen. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They stay on the ground with Allen.
And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. And some room to work. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. Just shy of the 20. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped.
Come on, don't stop that. Get us through this, man.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this is going to be caught? No, they say it's incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now a handoff inside, it's Jackson. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion and a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
This red zone is where the Seahawk crowd really makes it tough for an offense to communicate. It's third down. On third down, he'll drop to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on third down, maybe said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. On now is the field goal team. Here's the Raiders. We'll try for 3. This will be a 37-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 8. So this drive maybe didn't end with the same kind of success they had in the first half, but they do add 3 to their lead.
And defensively, I think they went in there at halftime and made a pact with each other and said, look, we can't let these guys keep driving it right down our throats. Not perfect giving up 3, but a much better start than the way they played in the first half.
Is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And it'll be a touchback as Tyler Lockett says, I'm not going to return this one. Get a look at DK Metcalf as this offense returns to the field. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Warren. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. And a quick throw here. That's complete. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Being chased out left. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Raiders pick it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the big gain through the air, but scratch it all off because he could not hang on to the football.
And you have to like what they did on defense here. They didn't give up on the play. Big yardage given up, but they still battled all the way to the end and helped force a turnover.
The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. They'll take over deep in their own end after the fumble recovery as they start 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And Waller taking it in over the middle. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Now a carry for Allen. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
That's taken on the 25. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Back to the ground, this time Lynch. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll run it. Here's Lynch, and he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 15. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. And now here come the Raiders. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
They'll start here with Jackson. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
They'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Here's the Raiders punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives them a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Lynch, left side. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 46 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now Wilson on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Now a give, running right is Lynch. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, This intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
To throw on second and 10. Wilson, and it's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now it's Wilson. That's incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. From the right hash, this from 53. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and that'll get the lead down to 5. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, fourth quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
What a quick start to the drive, but not for the team that really needed it. In only a few seconds, the opposing QB found himself on the turf, and the defense is celebrating second and long.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. They'll look to throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 27 yards there, a first down.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
They run on first down with Jackson. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up second and 5. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
second down, another carry for Jackson. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter. I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 38-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. On the give, here comes Jackson. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 59 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. The running game continues to be a big part of their success here early in the fourth quarter.
And with those types of runs, that tells you they feel very confident in their running game. They feel very strong at this stage of the contest, and they want to keep doing exactly what we saw there, running the ball down their throat.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's second down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now a give, it's Jackson. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. On the carry, it's Jackson. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal.
That's good power football on first and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. Again, Jackson. And he's not going too far. In fact, stopped dead in his tracks at the 3. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on third and goal.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunity.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. From 3 yards out. And the Raiders will add to their fourth quarter lead. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long, and this time that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger.
And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have, because when they get started in this game, They're not just throwing passes around, they're reading coverages early, so now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball definitely coming from his head coach.
Extra point right down the middle, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Taken in at the 3. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 23. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Wilson. Catch is made by Metcalf. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 37-yard line. And they'll give to Lynch out of the gun. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Wilson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. That time, finally, a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Here's Wilson. Out to his left. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 20-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
They'll try the middle with Lynch. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
66 yards on the ground for him so far.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Second down and 4.
To throw is Wilson.
Now, quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. From the pistol, they run with Lynch. And he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves him with a 4th and 1. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback.
And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And yes, everyone, that was the fullback carrying the football. I know it's a dying breed, it's a dying position for a lot of people, but I still think it's valuable and important, especially one who can carry the ball.
And you need short yardage. What makes sense? Go to a big body, let him plow forward just like he did there. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
They get one more as the extra point's up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a 1st down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
They'll begin the drive with Jackson on the ground.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Jackson as he'll stay on the ground. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
And the Seahawks add a couple of extra DBs going with the dime look here.
Indeed, 6 on the field. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he'll just get rid of it.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit into football.
Las Vegas sending out their punter now. as he's on here to punt it away. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. So Wilson and the Seahawks down by 5, 1:14 to go. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. Wilson to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Wilson trying to urge his guys to go faster and get set at the line. They'll look to throw. Toward the sideline, he will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as the understanding where they are in the field?
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing now is Wilson. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens in bounds.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Now Wilson.
Oh, and that nearly ended it. That should have been intercepted, but he cannot corral it, and that is a lifeline there with 3rd down coming up.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the first down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Here's Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
And this is obviously a spot where you lean on your stars. Get the ball to them in open space and let them do what they do.
Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go.
This is your game, baby.
He's back to throw. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
He'll look to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Down to their last chance now. This is going to have to be a heave for the end zone and just hope for a miracle.
And I don't sit back with everyone back defending. I've got to have somebody rushing the quarterback. Don't make it easy for him to set up and throw the ball all the way downfield.
One last shot for Wilson. He hits his target, Lockett. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 17-yard line.
What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.